to Poole. In the air, left field, and Pujols has given St. Louis the lead. A dramatic, towering 3-run home run.
Out of the pocket. 7 seconds. 6 seconds. Murray heaves it downfield. It is. Oh, it's caught! It is caught! DeAndre Hopkins!
Kevin Durant way outside. Delivers! Kevin Durant from downtown. It's a 6-point game.
Gentlemen, a pleasant good late evening to everybody. How is everybody doing? It is your boy Lewis Sports Number coming back at you once again with another heavy hitter banger with yet another video. Make sure to smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, make sure your notifications are turned on, make sure you're sharing this on your social media platforms. I truly appreciate it. Gonna get on to this video. This dude, Paul George, is nothing but a front-running, no-good, lying piece of garbage of an excuse maker. Why am I saying this? Because he was on All the Smoke with Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, and he's talking about the Clippers' struggles as to why the Clippers couldn't get it done when they blew a 3-1 lead to the Denver Nuggets, and he's talking about how, I'm talking with my teammates and we're going to be all right, Decides to throw Doc Rivers under the bus and then talk about, we didn't really make any adjustments. Paul George, let me tell you something. You're absolutely right. Doc Rivers deserves some blame to not making any adjustments because he out here riding himself over that one championship he won in Boston when he's played with so much talent, but yet has blown 3 3-1 leads and 3 3-2 leads. But now let me look at you, sir. You can't blame Doc Rivers for shooting on the side of a backboard in a Game 7. You cannot blame Doc Rivers for the fact that you and Kawhi Leonard combined shot an abysmal, 6 for 20 in Game 7? Kawhi made more field goals than you did. I mean, let's go further. You talking about saying basically that Doc Rivers tried to make you into a JJ Redick and a Ray Allen, and that you needed more pick and roll and post ups. Well, I got my old trusted laptop over here, and according to the stats, Paul George, when you played with Russell Westbrook in 2019, when you was having that MVP season and finished third in MVP, you averaged 9.8 3-point attempts. You averaged almost 10. And this season, you average 7.9 3-point attempts, according to the stats. According to the stats, your post-ups and your pick and rolls were actually the exact amount that you did the year before in OKC with Russell Westbrook. Now, let me ask you this, Paul George. Why is it that you went to go with Russell Westbrook to Oklahoma City? Maybe because the media knows, and a lot of people know, that Russell Westbrook will get the blame just in case if things go wrong. Isn't that exactly what happened when you guys failed to win in the playoffs? Not only against the Utah Jazz, in which you shot a terrible 2 for 16 in that Game 6 against a rookie-led Donovan Mitchell in the Utah Jazz, where you got outplayed by Joe Ingles. But I still remember the last shot when you was an Indiana Pacer in the 2017 playoffs. You shot an air ball against the Cleveland Cavaliers against LeBron James. I really feel like you've been traumatized by that horrific leg injury you suffered in FIBA 2014. And it's caused you to shoot more from the perimeter than ever. And that's really trying to mix up your game because you have a pretty good handle to get to the basket. But the fact that you settle for step back threes shows how pathetic you are. And then the worst part is you come out here and you're blaming Doc Rivers completely for why you played poorly in Game 7. When recent history, in 3 of the last 4 playoff series, you've played terrible. But you're going to blame this on Doc Rivers. Okay. How about the fact that you wifed up a freaking Instagram model stripper? You had a daughter with her. And yet for some reason you want to hit up on a MMA star who just went through domestic violence with Greg Hardy. I know her first name, it's Rachel. I forgot what her last name was. But you were shooting your shot when you were out with a shoulder injury before the start of the season, Paul George. You only played 48 games this past season when you include the long layoff with the bubble. So my problem with you is you hold no accountability towards nothing. Absolutely nothing. Way off P, Boy George, at it again. This guy doesn't hold himself accountable for anything. I mean, the amount of excuses that Paul George makes is just ridiculous, man. It's really ridiculous. Then he's going to say that we didn't own up to it. And by the way, I got to say this about Montrezl Harrell. This is how I see why the Clippers pretty much broke up internally. Montrezl Harrell is an agent of Clutch Sports, so I'm pretty sure he was letting the dudes at Clutch know what was going on behind the scenes with the Clippers. Look at what Draymond Green was doing with the Golden State Warriors. Do you see how Draymond Green allowed Maverick Carter to disrespect Steph Curry on his podcast? Exactly. That just lets you know right there. So Paul George is turning out to be pathetic P. Not playoff P, pathetic P. Way off P. Playoff PP. The fact that you just can't own up to the fact that you lost, and then you're throwing Doc Rivers under the bus. Nobody told you to go cheat on his daughter, Callie Rivers. There's no wonder you two don't like each other. Come on, man. Seriously, Paul George, seriously, bro? You're embarrassing yourself by now. You can't even take the blame. There's a reason why you went and stayed in OKC. Because you knew you wasn't going to get the blame if you lost. And then look at that. You get traded and leave Russ and then go behind Kawhi Leonard. But guess what? They're not touching Kawhi Leonard like that, even though he did get hate because he left Toronto and then went to the Clippers when he was supposed to be a Laker, and everybody was hoping that he'd team up with LeBron, and it didn't work out that way. But guess what? Because you're there, everybody's like, oh, man. It's funny, man. At one point, I used to defend you. I used to defend Paul George, but there's no defending you no more. You are a pure beta. I almost can't even say you're a beta supreme, because at least beta supremes play harder than a pure beta. And basically, you have such a weak victimhood mentality. You don't hold yourself accountable. You can't own up to anything, man. You sound like come on, man. You sound like a desperate chick, bro. And it's just sad. Own up to what you did and just come back stronger next year. Paul George is another dude that needs an alpha coach to keep his ass in check. Why? Because another problem that Paul George has, he stays way too distracted. He stays way too distracted. That dude, all he cares about is Instagram. He cares about other people. He keeps talking about how he's no James Harden. So don't compare me to James Harden, because I'm no James Harden. Like, I don't flame out in the playoffs. Yet you have flamed out 3 of the last 4 years. What you talking about, Paul George? Dame Lillard had the last laugh. You and Pat Bev clowning these dudes, but yet you go on all the small podcasts and then you talking about right in front of Matt Barnes and Stevie Jackson, talk about throwing Doc Rivers under the bus. And like I said, I'm no fan of Doc Rivers, but he's not the reason that you keep shooting terrible in the playoffs. He's not the reason that you shot a side of the backboard, Paul George. That's all you. What, Doc Rivers told you to shoot that shot? You shot it. And the thing is, with somebody who has a nice handle like Paul George, he stays stepping back and shooting those 3-pointers. Oh, man, ladies and gentlemen, man, I tell you, man, this guy is unbelievable, man. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is your boy Lewis, man, with another one. Let me know what you guys think about Paul George making excuses, man, and being such a front runner right now. And and the crazy part is the Clippers they were already showing that kind of curse. And it's looking worse with Paul George, because he's epitomizing what the Clippers are right now. And it continues. Despite the regular season success. And getting success in the playoffs. Let's see if they could try to get to the Western Conference Finals this season, but we'll see. But let me know your thoughts on, again, Paul George and what he said about why the Clippers struggled and blew a 3-1 lead to the Denver Nuggets. Anyway, as always, bless up. Live, laugh, love. Thank you guys for watching.